And not only is my co-commentator Jim Watts barred with both of these, but we've also got the manager Terry Lawless here, who used to handle both of them to give us an opinion. So the opening round scheduled, of course, for 12. And in terms of purse money, the precedence goes to the European champion, considered the more prestigious title. First time that they've fought, having had what they say probably hundreds of rounds when they were with the Lawless camp, and now going their separate ways. And Honeygan's manager Mickey Duff, well known of course in the fight game, has flown in especially from Florida, where he looks after John Mugabe, to be in the corner with Honeygan tonight. It's his first one officially under his management. So we'll see if it lives up to the tag of the grudge fight. There's certainly been some verbals, and if they can fight as well as they've been talking, we should be in for a good championship. So I love these black sequin shorts there of Honeygan with the honey on them, and Mitee also had his name on the gold shorts. Well, I've always thought all along that perhaps this fight will not depend solely on skill, but on which man can really impose his will on the other. Because they don't have to go looking for any sort of scouting reports. They know how they fight. They've had so many sparring sessions, and they were a bit spiteful, I understand. Well, Jim, this must bring back old times for you, having boxed with these boys in the Lawless Gymnasium in Canning Town in London.
Yeah, I've smacked a lot of rounds with both of them, mainly Mitee. The main difference, I'd say, between the two of them, Honeygan is probably a little bit more difficult to catch with punches than Mitee. That's what I've found anyway. But Mitee's getting through already. This is a typical start from Mitee. He's trying to push the opponent back. Honeygan's been trying the clever stuff already, nice little uppercuts. But a good start. We couldn't have complained. A good start to the fight.
There's a good left hook there from Mitee. That's always been his pet punch, I think. Well, any punch that works is a pet punch, but he does like the left hook. Unbeaten, remember now, Honeygan. Boxed with the London Fisher Club, and Mitee boxed with the London Repton Club. And I think it's the first fight between West Indians, surely, for the European Championship. I certainly can't remember one, anyway. John Coyle from the Midlands appointed the official referee, and it's the full-point marking, not the traditional British half points. Well, it's a good opening round, this. They're not larking about. Well, I think you get the impression they're pleased to get that one over with, and I would say that was a signal from Honeygan that they're quite well pleased with the opening round anyway. Get rid of some of that carefully nurtured hate. There's the tale of tapes, as they call them in America. Just a rundown now of Honeygan, and he's boxed in America, and he's won there. And as I say, he's got Mickey Duff working in his corner in the black outfit on the outside of the ropes, and inside his experienced second, Denny Mancini. So over there in Silvester Mitee's corner, there's the rundown for him. Knocking on in age terms, but it took some time out of the ring, and has had championship cracks before, but he's coming a bit late in life now, isn't he? And he's been doing it very well, I must say, Mitee. And I have to be careful what I say about him, because he's not bad at the old verbal ear bashings afterwards.
Round two.
Second round, and a bit of quality, fast. Welterweight boxing there. Remember, in the latest ratings now by the World Boxing Council and Association, which we've only seen this week, Honeygan's come in at 4 and Mitee at 7. And there aren't many championships you'll see with British, Commonwealth, European at stake, with two genuine contenders for the championship. Remember, it's the Americans who rate them. Well, Americans and South Americans, basically. These two fellows are really looking now for a shot at the welterweight championship of the world, because it's the fight traders all say that Donald Curry and Milton McCrory, when they settle their argument, will give up the championship, and these fellows are in the shake-up. And And the Curry-McCrory fight, by the way, you will also be able to see on ITV on Saturday week. Well, it's a question of out-thinking as well as out-punching each other, or I feel they might have the needle with each other, but there's no lack of respect for boxing ability, I'm sure of that. Well, they haven't spared themselves in training for this one. You can tell by the sharpness, and I love the trim haircuts as well, although you don't have to go in training to get your haircut. What do you think?
Yeah, well, the punches already are very good. I get the impression Honeygan's punches are a little bit sharper, a little bit more powerful at this stage. He's just missed Mitee's whisker a couple of times with nice looking uppercuts. There he is. More of a stumble than a knockdown, but...
he won't like that, Mitee. Good interruption. He was going to give him the standing mandatory 8 count, which is the European rules, by the way.
Well,
it's not a standing count as such, but I didn't agree with that, did you?
Well, a punch did knock him. I mean, he stumbled, but a punch knocked him over, so I suppose the referee's entitled to give him a count. But no way was he hurt. But Honeygan's looking for him early.
Under European rules, they can actually give a standing count without going down, but no British referee has yet done that in the European Championship. And I'm assured that Mr. John Cole will not probably use that rule. But he has to take a mandatory 8, and they don't do that in British Championship fights. Well, we've always known that Lloyd Honeygan's got a good punch variety. He brings them in from all angles. He's having a good round there in round 2. Just having a walk round there, Honeygan, more or less unwinding. I think he was not really going to the wrong corner. He knew exactly what he was doing. So there you are. We're just peering over the lady with the rounds board, and in replay, Jim.
Well, Honeygan's given the impression that he's a little bit stronger than Mitee at the moment. It's like a full welter against a light welter.
I doubt whether he really took the punch there. He half fell across him, didn't he? But there you are, it counts as a knockdown. He'll debate that one for the rest of his career, old Silvester. He'll have a word or 100 to say about that, won't he? Almost a familiar face on television these days. Ernie Fossey, the matchmaker and trainer, counselling Mitee. As I say, they were both formerly with the Terry Lawless camp. So round 3. And the European challenger Mitee in gold, and the British and Commonwealth challenger Honeygan in black sequin. There's certainly a good second round there for Honeygan.
Yeah, his work looked a bit sharper and a bit stronger, which I think might be quite significant. Honeygan has been a welterweight all his pro career. Mitee has been a lightweight, a light welterweight, and now a welterweight. I don't know if that's going to make a big difference. But Honeygan certainly looked that little bit stronger in the second round.
Silvester's always say he can react to any given situation, and he's going to need to. Because it's Honeygan well on top, and Mitee, I don't think has ever been floored as a professional, and I think I've seen nearly all his fights. And they're really screaming there in Honeygan's corner. Mickey Dove, I can see, saying to Honeygan, box, stick the left hand out, set the man up. Let's see now whether the old boxing head of Mickey can weather this, Mitee, I should say, could weather this storm. To use one of his typical phrases, he said, I might just old man him out of it. Oh, good exchange of blows there. Mitee coming back well. minute to go. Short of action here, and what a comeback this is by Mitee. Well under fire at the start. Sheer grit there, and the determination. What a good championship fight it turned out to be. A rare triple championship. A little bit inaccurate there, Mickey, there. They've got to throw a few punches to the body. I think they're missing to the head. Well, he weathered that storm very well there, Silvester, Mitee. So now let's get an opinion from Terry Lawless with Gary Newbon.
Terry, is this going to last the distance?
Doesn't look like it the way it's going now. I don't think it can go 12 rounds at this pace.
What do you think of it so far?
I thought the first round was even. I thought Honeygan won the second round by a point, and I thought Honeygan won that last round. He had a very good start. Mitee come back in the fight very well, though.
By that, you suggest you don't think Mitee's going to survive?
Well, Mitee had a very good back end of the round, that round. So I think the fight, he's still got plenty of fight in him yet.
Thank you, Terry.
There's the well-lived-in face of Mickey Duff. I even saw him box when he was a teenager. Now has been in the top circle of the world pros for many years, and
seconds out.
Spends a lot of time in America. Round 4. How do you see it, Jim?
Well, I'm a bit more gracious to Mitee. I gave him a share of the second round. Honeygan did have a good spell at the start of the round. I have Honeygan one round in front at the minute. But I think the significant thing is the fact that Honeygan's punches are troubling Mitee a lot more than Mitee's are troubling Honeygan. Honeygan looks the stronger, looks the sharper. His punches are flowing more freely than Mitee's.
Well, there's one thing. We don't have too many fears with rather this strange scoring of the European continental type judges. We've got Mike Jacobs and Harry Gibbs working tonight, star-class referees on the World Boxing Council list, apart from John Coyle, and that's because there's 2 British-based fighters for the European. Otherwise they would need what they call the neutral judges, but in fact all of them should be neutral. So there's some blood coming from Mitee's mouth and dripping on his shorts there. Looks like developing into a bit of a war of attrition now, doesn't it?
Yes, a cracking fight. I get the impression there's just a touch of desperation in Mitee's work. He wants to stay close to Honeygan. He's forcing him back, pushing him back, but he's not landing the classy punches we've seen him landing in the past. So it's as though he realises he could be in a bit of danger. He's just trying not to give Honeygan any punching room.
I think what he's trying to do is he's dying to outgame him, isn't he, really?
Yeah, he's trying to bully him a bit now. This isn't really a bad idea.
As I said right at the start, Jim, it's a question of imposing the will on when they're evenly skilled like this, really.
Yeah, but this isn't the typical classy performance from Mitee. He's running into trouble again. He's making too many mistakes.
Actually, in a press conference, Mitee admitted that in the sparring sessions of years ago, when he said, I don't think I was quite right, really, but I'd certainly say Honeygan had a bit of edge over me. I thought it was very honest of him. as Messrs Mancini and Duff and Page all working in the corner. There's a bit of a bonus actually for Honeygan, because Mickey Duff was saying that he wanted to take him to see the Don Curry Milton McCrory fight if he wins tonight. There's a bit of a bonus. Let's have a look at some replay here, Jim. Just sum that up for me there.
Yeah, well, as I say, Mitee seems to be pushing Honeygan back. There's just a little touch of desperation, and I say he's making more mistakes tonight than I've ever seen him making in his whole career. He's getting caught wrong-footed, as we can see here. Silvester will have to tighten up and get his boxing back together.
And from the different angle, you see, I mean, he's not floundering really, but as you say, just lost a little bit of that poise and composure that we've seen from Mitee in the past. But then credit Honeygan with making him do that.
You see, Silvester's pushing a lot.
Round 5.
He's pushing Honeygan back, so when Honeygan steps back, he's forcing himself into making mistakes.
Into the 5th then, remember, scheduled for 12 for this triple championship. Honeygan 10.5 and 3/4 and Mitee 10.6 1/2. And as I say, well in the shake-up for world title fights in the future, depending of course how Colin Jones decides what he's going to do with his career after a rather sad back injury that he's been suffering from. But Jones actually has been dropped down to number 10 now because of inactivity since he fought Don Curry. Definitely got mouth trouble there. I don't know whether it's a tooth loose. I'm guessing a bit with Mitee, but he's certainly bleeding quite heavily from the mouth, Jim.
Yeah, he stopped a little bit now, but it was bleeding pretty badly in the previous round.
Tell you what, Jim, I'll have a little bet with you. It won't stop him from talking.
No, I think you're right there. See, Honeygan's managing to get more power into the short punches than Mitee, so this type of fight is probably suiting Honeygan more.
He's turning to southpaw, Honeygan, too. I haven't seen him do that much before, have you?
I think you'll see him do some strange things before the night's out. He just does whatever he feels is right at the time.
Well, the longer this goes, it's going to be some slog. I can't believe that referee was suggesting that was a slap from Honeygan, Jim, did he?
Yeah, it was a bit, just the way it was delivered. I mean, he didn't have to warn them because it's not a thing he does regularly, just the way that the punch landed. But I don't know why he's back to orthodox again, but he switched to southpaw. I don't know why he's doing that. Mittee's cut over the right eye.
He's cut over the eye. He's really in the wars there, isn't he? Teeth are now cut over the right eye. There's some kind of clash in there. You see him blinking and pulling away, Mitee. Well, he's got some good skilled seconds in the corner, getting the coagulates out, and they're going to need to be working hard on this because it's in the round 5, and you know it's a long way in a championship fight to keep that staunched. Ernie Fossey already there with the swab stick, and the 1 in 1,000 adrenaline that's allowed by the boxing board of control applies a lot of pressure on there. He certainly had his experience at that, and he former boxer himself, he suffered a few. They really have to be instant surgeons, these fellas, and I'm just allowing him a bit of a gargle anyway. So I don't really, we can't tell whether he's got that teeth trouble, but he certainly has got a problem there. And as we can see with that cut eye. Now that doesn't necessarily write the fighter off. Obviously it never helps, Jim, but we've seen many come from behind to win.
I think Mitee has enough in his mind at the minute without
Second belt,
to worry about a cut eye.
6.
He always seems to be forcing himself on. His work isn't flowing out the way Honeygan's is. Silvester seems to be forcing all the time, pushing himself onto Honeygan.
Well, in boxing parlance, Jim, I mean, Honeygan more than ever fancies the job, doesn't he, now?
With his eyes leaking again already.
Not a, it's in a difficult position. Yes, he's got to give him another standing 8 count, and this time Mitee doesn't appear to be protesting in round 6, and that definitely is the first time I've seen him on the floor as a pro, if we ignore the first one. I tell you, the referee's having a long and hard look there at Mitee, hardly taking his eyes off him, as he knows which is the man in trouble. Obviously got to give them every chance in a championship fight. Well, we could do without it being untidy, because it's a good enough fight without that, and certainly punishing enough, in this case mostly for Mitee in this round. Just always have that on your mind in the ring, Jim, when you know you've got the eye cut like that, just wondering how bad it is, because you're the only one really who can't see it properly, or at all, in fact.
Well, it's certainly a problem, but I don't really think it's had any bearing here. I think Honeygan's on top at the moment simply because he's performing better than Mitee. And I think at the end of this round, I'll have Honeygan 3 rounds in front, which is pretty comfortable at this stage.
Oh yes, no question about that, is there? And I'm sure that's, unless as Paul Gibson Jacobs would have it. But the way it's going, I don't think we're going to need any mathematics, are we? Well, good credit there as the clock countdown there for the round, with Mitee trying to come back, and I don't think there's too much danger of Honeygan punching himself out. He tends to have a few rests, but now here he's coming back right at the end as well. The seconds almost have to catapult into the ring now to do this patching up process, and you know, many a fight has been won and lost by good or bad cornermen. A little bit of prejudice on my part there, coming from a family who were both amateur and professional seconds. Jim, this is where the stumbling's going in a replay there.
See, a punch landed, but
yes.
I mean, it caught behind the ear. You couldn't really call it a knockdown, but the count makes it a knockdown.
But we were talking about Mitee sometimes being a bit off balance, but you see it's the right foot forward stance a bit there that helped create that fall, I think. No, it didn't. No, I thought he'd be going at that point. There it is now. As you say, good old-fashioned clip round the ear. Round 7, halfway stage. And Jim Watt and I have Honeygan ahead, retaining at this point the European Championship and going for the British and Commonwealth. Mitee won those in separate fights. Is that a pulling on job, Jim? It's back towards me as that happened.
Yeah, just do want it a little bit, yeah. That's kind of fair game, is it not?
Remember, of course, that despite the injuries, Mitee has been in long-distance fights in his career, 15-rounders, which have now been cut out at British and European levels, still in some cases at world level, at 15. tell you, they've done a pretty good job on that Argent. It's not leaking at all this round, is it? Certainly can't see it. We're close enough.
No, it's certainly not bleeding. It's just a little bit of red round about the cut, a little bit of blood just sitting on the injury, but I don't think it's actually bleeding.
Well, promoter Frank Warren won this fight, as they say, in a purse bid for $62,500 to be split, with a bigger share going to Honeygan as European title holder. And they do that by sealed purse bids to the border control when they order the fight to take place, the rival promoters. They're still very keen in Honeygan's corner for him to use the left-hand jab, the longer punches. So half a minute then in the 7th.
It's not often we see Mitee so banged up in a fight, is it? He's been taking a lot of punches full in the face.
He's got a very well-trained body, and he's always looking at himself in the mirror when he's training. I don't think he'll want to after this one for a day or so. But life does get tough at the top, Jim, as you well know. So let's get another opinion then from Terry Lawless.
Terry, how can Mitee survive this?
It doesn't look like he can at the moment. He's hampered with a mouth injury and eye injury. But Lloyd wants a little kick up the backside himself now, because he's feeling a little bit sorry for himself, and he's got no need to.
Why do you think he's feeling sorry?
Well, he's caught Silvester with a lot of good punches, and he's still there. And I would think by now he would hope to have had the fight won.
Can Mitee change his style and step it up?
It doesn't look like it now. No, it looks like he's taking too many punches for me at this stage of the fight.
Is he strong enough to survive?
Oh, he's a very strong man. He's a very fine athlete, but he's wasting punches, and Honeygan is landing.
He does have a lot to do.
Well, I would think he's about 5 rounds behind by now for me.
Reg.
Second out, round 8.
So the 8th round. Just a little bit too much Vaseline there, says referee Coyle, and just stabs it off. Not allowed to what they call extra protection above the waist other than wearing a gum shield. Well, as Terry Lawless and Jim Watt have both said, Mitee behind now. Has he got time to make it up, or has he been in the wars a bit too much? But he's proved in the past he's not a bad stayer, but then again, you can't knock an unbeaten record, and that's what Honeygan has. He's in a couple of fights in the States, admittedly not in world company, but just to win there is good. Jim, wasn't it, by Honeygan?
Yeah, a little bit of showmanship there. Lloyd's kind of famous for that, yeah. I think the difference now is that Lloyd's enjoying the work. Silvester knows it's an uphill struggle all the way, and I don't really think he can expect it to get much better. The only hope for victory now, I suppose, is if Honeygan starts running out of steam.
What's the problem here? The doctor now is being called. They do this in the European rules, and Dr. Adrian Whiteson, the specialist, actually, the boxing doctor as we call him, is having a good look, and it's